Arriving at Cattivo in Pittsburgh's Lawrenceville neighborhood on March 22, 2018, an abrasive and utterly abusive night of corrosive doom and death awaits a fervent crowd. Sludged out doom malefactors, Primitive Man, and fellow Denver resident Spectral Voice enlist Pittsburgh's own death metal dungeon crawlers Taphos Nomos for the evening's earth-scraping experience. Spreading their signature death doom alchemy from the city of Pittsburgh, Taphos Nomos opens the night in bruising fashion. Founded in 2014, our hometown dungeon crawlers embark on a death metal-fueled quest of the highest order. Slow and menacing, auto-cannibalism beneath the avalanche opens the set by burying the crowd in a sordid and grimy mire, before a squalling solo from the well-monikered torrential abyss on guitars emerges to herald an underhanded swing. With a gurgling guitar strafe, the band's second song draws you in with a circling groove until an overwhelming gravity takes control with frozen notes and icy rot riffs. A slow crawling lurch introduces, swallowed in boiling kaolinite from these intrepid denizens of death. Arthur Rainbridge's drums underpin the fetid morass as a discordant near-carnival crawl overwhelms the song's second half, before doubling down in a final charge that ultimately dedicated to recently deceased death metal legend Killjoy, the next gore-drenched tune, Lightning Stroke Obliteration, Bolt Catcher, lurches forth in reanimated horror, percolating with understated lethality, while the last song closing the show assails the audience with an off-kilter pull. Chanted invocations from vocalist Mountain of Doom add to the creeping malaise before a dirty rush launches with swirly guitar runs and lethal riffs. An ominous drone builds through the PA as the room slowly fills with a dense cloud of fog. Strategically placed candles cast the band into faint ghostly shadows as the lights go completely out. Emanating from the crystalline, elevated air of Denver, Colorado, the funereal vapors of Spectral Voice spread through the darkened confines of Cattivo. Touring in support of their critically lauded 2017 release, Eroded Corridors of Unbeing, Spectral Voice's atmospheric set begins to scratch and crawl through the haze-laced dark. Opening a harrowing descent into aural madness, a cavernous guitar tone from Paul Rydell and Morris Kolontirsky engulfed the crowd, with the rap drums of Eli Wendler pummeling underneath. Peeking through the dark and haze-shrouded atmosphere, clean-toned guitar spires appear and recede with a bleak and chilled demeanor as the band breathes darkened life into thresholds beyond from their latest work. Jay Barrett's bass and Eli Wendler's double duty on vocals gurgle from the fetid sonic cauldron as 2014's horrid phantasm roars into Cattivo's darkened reaches. Rising to a brutally churning pummel, Spectral Voice obliterate the audience as the quicker-paced moments offer a true respite from the band's suffocating doom tendencies and minimalist noise scrape. On terminal exhalation of being, Spectral Voice proffer gnarled riffs on another new song. Lurching in a squalid slow motion, the band quickly descends into a bleak and blackened pit of nihilistic composure. Barbaric glaciers of hostility slowly open the final song, another vintage track from 2014, slowly claimed by oblivion. Soon a death waltz quickens the pace with dark and atmospheric strength as Spectral Voice lay waste to the assembled mass with their bleak doom ritual. Harrowing descents, caustic swells, and lurching charges create a despondent morass in the fog-shrouded dark. At about 23 minutes in, the band blow out the candles and complete the set in near-perfect dark. Unsettling, atmospheric, and engrossing, Spectral Voice deliver a monstrous set of impactful, deathly doom. Also hailing from the Mile High City, Primitive Man have levied a continuous barrage of singles, splits, and an EP, in addition to a pair of full lengths since the band's founding in 2012. In October of last year, the band released the aptly named Caustic to widespread acclaim. Touring in support of this abrasive statement of nihilistic sludge, Primitive Man settle in with a 6-song set drawing exclusively from their latest misanthropic endeavor. Still draped in lingering fog from Spectral Voice, My Will begins the slow-motion abrasion from these feral Coloradans, distorting sonic discord into strangulations of roiling bass and corrosive guitar emanations. Bassist JPC and guitarist vocalist ELM issue harsh swells of corrosive amplifier abuse. Propelled by JDL's drums, viciously paced moments rage forth from the slow-moving sonic eddy with harrowing intent as sterility drops the crowd into another slow-burning pit of hostile sludge. ELM's vocals scrape around the edges with an acidic burn as Victim issues forth. The steady pummel of JDL keeps the pace, with vicious cymbal crashes punctuating a deceptively paced beatdown. Harrowing guitars maneuver between frozen whirlpools of detuned tar and a quick-paced vicious burl as the band scours the audience with Victim's schizophrenic swings. Perpetually in a state of harangue deconstruction, Primitive Man present a form of doom in a proactive state of de-evolution. Presaged by an intro tape of the album title track Caustic, skulking riffs and smothering malaise dominate the sonic palette as the misleadingly titled Tepid scrapes through the speakers. Closing out the set, the band locks into a destructive feedback loop of coarse malevolence with Sugarhole. Building to an apocalyptic strafe, Sugarhole attempts to gain some momentum before ultimately collapsing into a mire of sonic malaise and hostile noise. An excellent night of misanthropic and abrasive doom. March 22, 2018, brought a pair of Denver-based miscreants to Pittsburgh for a night of harsh doom and an impressively immersive presentation. Local death metal standouts Taphos Nomos opened the night's ritual. Taphos Nomos' Alchemical Doom Death sets the stage for an immersive night of harrowing despondence as Denver's Spectral Voice next fill the room with darkness, fog, and malevolently insidious slow-motion destruction. Sludge-induced reprobates, Primitive Man, end the night with a particularly abrasive set of scathing, doomed maleficence, showing that, while Denver may have thin air, Primitive Man smother the crowd with an oppressive atmosphere of hostile and abrasive sludge.